Lindsay, welcome to the office. I'm going to take you on a brief tour before we go back and see the doctor.
So now,
First, I'd like to tell you our
abdominal suspension in the morning.
adjust each family member towards optimal health.
She's in a hypertonic state. Oh, stop playing around with your head. Put your head in the middle, dear. Just a little, just a little.
Step on over to the computer.
Okay, now,
And we are an electronic
we need to get more
office, so
sensory
we
input
each
into the
patient number
brain.
based on their birthday to check
So
the medicine
distracting
that they're
the
here.
joint. Now,
Here's a 0-1.
the posture muscles are run down either side of the spine. There's no conscious control over it. And the brain functions like a battery. It gets its charge from the normal position of motion of the vertebrae.
Enter, you'll see your
So
name
the
pop
more
up,
stimulus
and a brief
up those
message.
joints,
Go ahead
and we're
close.
distracting and
Your
laterally
assignment, you'll do
flexing,
that every time you come. It lets us know that
distracting
you're
and
here,
laterally
okay?
flexing,
Following this
contacting
way.
right on the spine.
Now,
just
because
lateral
education is very important
to
to
the
us,
spinous
every Tuesday night
processes.
Dr. Bergman gives a health talk here in the office at 7 p.m.
And you can tell, because since nobody has conscious control of those paravertebrals, they increase in tone and proprioception, distract until they start to change in tone. That means the brain is communicating to this area more effectively and getting the brain's awareness of the body more clear. That's when she gets more control. And you'll see a less hypertonicity of response to the environment. Now, I'm just distracted all through here, and instead of having an asymmetrical tone like she did when she first presented 2 minutes ago, she's now symmetrical. Okay, now she has a little resistance on this, and since we want to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, I'm going to put her on the side posture. I know. Oh, you got the cousinette hair there, dear. Oh, stop smiling. I know, you like this part. Okay, now we're going to use the drop. So her spine's in basically neutral position. Distract out. Now, good. And again, do that drop until the paravertebrals begin to respond correctly. Put her on her back. Now, since there's the shape of the head, the plates of the skull need to be moved, but when we do move them, it puts her in a spastic state. But we have to get pressure off of the skull in order to get more cerebral spinal fluid flow. You can see there's a misshapen here. So what we're going to do, now I haven't even touched the skull. Okay, but she already starts to respond in a hypersensitive state. Now what I'm going to do is move the skull around to separate those plates to allow more cerebral spinal fluid flow. Hey, hon, I'm just describing it, don't worry. But then she's going to go into a mild seizure after doing this because it puts so much sensory input into the body. I'm going to adjust the neck, the mid-neck, actually the C5, and we're going to push that in a normal lordotic curve, and that's going to turn the seizure off almost immediately by getting more appropriate sensory input. So this one we have to do, it just overstimulates the brain. This one's going to have a calming effect. Oh, what? Shut up and just do it? Okay. Gosh, you're such a girl. Okay, just a little bit. And I'm only pushing about half a pound of pressure on the sagittal suture in an oblique fashion to get pressure off. I know, dear. I know it's tender. But the plates of the skull do move. Okay, now, apply a little pressure right there. And that has a calming effect and actually takes some of the stress off. Now, this is going to be way at the base because we need to restore that lordotic curve in order to clear the proprioceptive responses. Okay? Yeah. Stop smiling. Okay, so now what we're going to also be doing over the next few weeks is initiating more of a cross-crawl response. Where one side up, one side down. And you'll start to see that that gets both halves of the brain firing a little bit more correctly. And you're going to see less and less and less seizures. Because if you look at a seizure as something a little different, imagine if the brain needs constant sensory input, and the brain gets its charge from the normal position and motion of the vertebrae. So the more sensory input we can get in there, the more it's going to have a calming effect. And we're also going to see the knees are going to start to work, the feet are going to start to work. And it's all to get more sensory input in the brain to have a more calming effect and to get her more control. Okay, dear? Was that good for you? Oh, stop smiling. Yep, you're set now. What? Stop smiling. I think she liked it.
Oh, she loves it.
Come on here.